one of the few topics that we've chosen for January 2016 to open the year with a bang, let's take up a topic that is yung pangkabuhayan naman na sa tingin natin, everybody can really relate to, and who knows, pwede rin kayong mag-apply sa trabahong ito. Ano ba ang ibig kong sabihin? Ano ba ang tinutukoy ko? Ito ay wala ang iba kung hindi yung booming BPO business, not only in Davao but in the entire country as well. And we have with us a guest who will talk about this BPO industry more. Ano ba ang what it takes to be in that industry? Ano ang kinakailangan to put up the business and also to hire people? And how is it now after operating for I guess 5 years? Ano na ang takbo ng negosyo nila dito? Kailangan ba na malaking kapital ang puhunan dito? Kailangan ba na meron kang koneksyon sa labas ng bansa para maging successful ang business na ito? And so on and so forth. So sa mga nakikinig sa atin, relax lamang po kayo dyan. And we're gonna explore another world na medyo bago sa atin. Ito yung BPO or yung trabaho ng mga call center agents. And I'm sure hindi lang naman ito limited sa call center agents. There are other types of BPOs out there, but the very common right now ay yung sa mga call centers. Ayan, so hindi na natin patatagalin pa. Let's start the ball rolling. Ang kasama po natin, siya ang site director ng IBEX Global here in Davao. Let's all welcome Mr. Resi Cayabyab. Magandang umaga, Resi.
Good morning, magandang umaga.
So, how are you? Happy New Year?
Happy New Year!
Oo. So, I'm sure marami kang maikukwento sa amin regarding dito sa BPO industry. First siguro, let's start, You're not from Davao. You're from where?
I grew up in Manila.
So,
all my life,
ka na
Manila
mo.
ako.
Di ka kasabot og Bisaya. You cannot understand Bisaya.
Kasabot ako.
Na. Okay.
Finally. No, my roots are from Mindanao still.
Okay.
My mom is actually from Butuan.
Oh.
So every day all Bisaya at home.
So you really can understand.
I can understand. Just yung super lalim na Bisaya. I can't. But I generally can understand, and luckily I'm also married to a Bisaya from Mindanao, from Jensan.
Oh, okay.
So I can understand.
Okay. So your heart belongs to Mindanao, ha? Nakapangasawa ka ng taga Mindanao.
Yes, and
nanay mo from Mindanao.
Yes.
Oh, diba?
Like
and now you're here in Mindanao.
Finally, yeah, right. 5 years now.
How do you find working in Mindanao, in Davao in particular, as compared to Manila?
Big difference actually. Although I'd like to say 5 years ago, Davao was so different from where we are now.
Right.
The progress has been superb. There's just the malls alone, there's everywhere. Businesses all over. But work here has been really good. Yung pool is just really strong, and later I'm sure we'll talk about yung mga successes and all that. But the Davaoenos are super sipag, good talent. Talent pool is readily available. I think the literacy rate is really good as well. But beyond that, I think the key differentiator ni Davao is yung family-oriented environment. You would see that in my team and then the teams below them, there's just bonding that's different in Manila. Manila kasi is super fast-paced city. Here, it's going there.
Yeah.
But I think na-retain natin yung family-oriented environment, which is a plus for us.
When you say family-oriented, are you saying na itong mga teammates mo or yung mga teams mo dyan, too close to their families, or sila mismo within the workplace, they treat each other as families?
Both. So the biggest motivation is absolutely their families.
All right.
So the hard work is being put in place because of that. That's one. And second, you're right. basically yung care, yung malasakit to their teams, to their managers, the company is there. And so unbelievable yung passion to be somebody, because you have people here that would want to compete with other cities in the Philippines, BPO wise. Aside from that, they're also wanting to compete globally. Unlike if you're somebody from in Manila, Manileños are also very competitive. I wouldn't say we also have sites over there, pero Manileños would always want to compete globally. We're with us, we're competing with Manila, and we're competing globally. So the motivation is, I'd say, doubled.
Correct.
Because you're proving yourself to the Philippines and you're proving yourself to the world.
Okay. You've mentioned about competition, competing, no? It's a highly competitive industry.
Yep.
Siguro, let's start with that. How different is the BPO industry from the usual industry natin dito? Alam natin na dumadami ang workforce nyo, no? Sa buong BPO industry alone, hindi lamang sa inyong kumpanya. So, let's start with that. Ano ba ang nature nitong BPO na ito? What kind of industry is this? Kasi ang iba hindi pa siguro nakakarinig. Ano ba yung BPO na yan? Okay, nakakarinig tayo ng mga call center agents, but we really don't know ano ang nature ng work ng mga call center agents. Bakit napaka-competitive?
I guess it's siguro it's a young environment. It's the world of the millennials.
Okay.
It's people are employees particularly, and like to believe in other call centers too, or BPOs. The millennials are very motivated to get to somewhere, from being in level 1 agent role to a subject matter expert, to a team leader, to a manager, to a director. We have employees that can grow within a year or maybe less. You can be we have success stories that can unbelievable, that are truly Davaoeños, that came from agent all the way up to a senior manager or soon to be director. So I think it's the competitive nature comes with that proving yourself, being very young.
So, lahat ng mga empleyado dyan, bata.
Not all.
Ano ba talaga do you have an age limit? Do you have a certain ceiling? Pag ikaw lumampas ng ganitong edad, sorry, out ka na.
There's none.
Okay.
You'll be surprised that you will see all ages. It's primarily the millennials. It's primarily the young professionals.
When you say millennials, exactly what does that mean?
People, the iPad world,
Ayun.
technology, apps,
yung mga babad sa social media,
it's the
babad
world of social media, that's right. Pero we have employees and that are
yung mga techie na mga tao
above
or
50s,
okay,
in their 60s. We don't look at age. We don't look at. I think that's a good thing, and one thing that I'm also proud of.
Walang age limit sa inyo.
There's absolutely no discrimination in the call center or a BPO setting. It's very dynamic. We don't look at gender. We don't look at your physical appearance or what you can do.
Basically,
physically.
what you look like becomes immaterial, right?
Yeah,
hindi ka naman nakikita eh.
Yeah.
Diba?
Exactly.
It's actually your voice and how you communicate.
So,
that is the reckoning point there.
Yes.
Right?
It started with, when I was an agent back in the days.
Naging agent ka rin.
Yes. Back in the days. I started, luckily I was, I started with this industry 2002. Believe it or not.
Really?
As an agent, fresh grad, straight
From
out
college?
from college.
Oh, really? Wala,
Yeah.
hindi ka na what's your course?
I was a computer-based information system. It's under business ad.
Okay.
But my
So when you took up that course, you had in mind to become a call center agent?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not.
Okay.
At that time it was nursing, and no, I think before nursing it was IT, who was I think it was booming at that time, and then nursing came, and so everybody wanted
Gusto
IT.
mo mag-abroad?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Everybody wants to. Pero my course was a little bit more of management and programming. So it's a combination. But I never really thought of going to a call center.
So why did you?
You know, somebody, as you go, I was in Manila, when you're applying from one company to another, and the usual, wherever your friends are, you go where they are.
So nagkayayaan kayo.
Exactly. I think it was 5 of us who passed the exam. And so
the pay was good at the time, I suppose. Or hindi, okay lang?
It's good at that time. It's super far where it is today.
Okay.
If I compare it to the
Yeah.
business
Pero of course, at that time, the going rate was really
yes,
okay na.
Yes.
Or would you say it was the highest rate at the time?
No,
Hindi
it
naman.
wasn't.
Okay.
But to me, I'm just super motivated to get a job.
Excited to earn your own money,
exactly.
right?
Yung ganon. Gusto mo lang mag-earn, you wanna help out, you wanna prove something. So I did that. And attorney, it's funny. My interview was actually, I was asked to do a weather report.
Really?
Oo.
Pero may binabasa ka naman.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing. So parang ano
So
siya
impromptu.
Okay. It's a sales call center.
Okay.
So I would think they're looking for if you're spontaneous, if you can talk, and you can think fast. And so I didn't know that you're gonna do a weather report. So I was just standing there, Resi Cayabyab. So I went to the room, and I was asked, do a weather report. Of course, I was shocked. Kasi if you're applying from one to another regular industry, you would wait. First, obviously, if you're going to a banking industry, you'll take the exam, you'll go to the interview, and it's similar to the other regular industries. So this time, I was expecting the same. I thought I'm gonna, obviously, I answered forms, pero I did not take an exam at that time. I think there was. It's not as stringent as what we have now. But it's totally different from yung regular industries. Pero when I stood up, yung interviewer said, instead of asking me questions about me and all that, sabi lang niya, can you do a weather report for me? Okay, same thing. I was thinking you're gonna give me a script. Pero I did not receive anything. Nothing, no script. Luckily,
so you did it?
I did it.
Nabola ka na doon.
Nakakahiya siya, of course. But it's I think with good training, with all of a sudden you remember what you do in school, regular conversation. I think that's what we're looking for anyway. It's just conversational skills. And
so
did it.
You passed.
Yes.
With flying colors, I suppose.
Well, that I don't know. But I just passed. I was happy for it. I had a job. I stayed there for about 4 years. And I was thinking, 3 months lang ako dito, mag-iipon lang ako. But I enjoyed it. It's a similar group. It's like I'm also in college because the age group is primarily the same. Again, no discrimination. So I have co-employees that are older, very much older than me. Pero environment-wise, it's fun. You enjoy it. There's a lot of team buildings. There's growth. There's development and training. And so I enjoyed it. End up from 3 months target to a 4-year, and now I'm still in the industry for 13 years now.
Yes, but you were promoted, I suppose, within that 4-year period.
Yes.
So you rose in rank.
Yes.
Anong highest rank mo doon?
When I left, I was the campaign head for the program.
So in other words, parang nag-adapt ka sa competitive world na yon, sumabay ka, and you even excelled.
Right.
Kaya ka umabot sa puntong yon.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, yun na nga that kind of industry is highly competitive. Siguro let's look at it in general, no? The BPO, I would say, is not really limited sa call center lang naman, di ba?
Yes.
Meron tayong medical transcription.
Right.
No? Meron ding, I don't know kung meron na dito sa Philippines or in Davao, yung legal transcription.
There is.
No? Kung meron na ba?
There is.
And I heard there's one in Cebu.
There is.
I don't know in Davao kung meron.
I heard that there is one here.
Okay.
I know there is in Manila. I know there is in Cebu. I am almost 100% sure
Meron dito.
we have it in Davao.
Alright.
I'm not so sure which company or where that is.
So for a while, malakas din yung medical transcription.
Yes.
Dito, no?
Yes.
I heard people were taking up courses para mag-train for that kind of job because it's kind of in demand way back few years ago here in Davao. And lately, yun na, ang mga call centers na, ang nagsusulputan kaliwat kanan dito sa Davao. So, among all these types of BPO dito, ang pinakasikat ngayon would be the call centers, right?
Yes.
Tama ba?
Yes.
Why do you think marami ang puput up, no? Like, let's look at the side of the company. How lucrative is it or how feasible is it for a company to put up a call center site dito sa Davao when you have it in Manila? Or why not do it in Cebu or in some other localities?
There's so many reasons why gusto namin in Davao. 2 years ago, this is actually the first provincial site ni IBEX Global. And we decided to put it in Davao with so much
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
All right.
So this is our third year.
Okay.
Although third year is August, between August to October time frame. But we decided to be in Davao because of the number one, the local government is just the noise is just everywhere in the Philippines. So the security is tight. The support of the government, not necessarily physically supporting, pero the fact that the disaster recovery is good. You have your 911. So that alone is a good indicator na
but IBEX already knew that may iba na rin mga BPOs dito.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Pero at if we look at the number of big players in Davao, there's still opportunities.
All right.
Even with so much of BPO players now, and there are some that are small to medium size. Ang dami nating pool like every year, just in one big university alone, you would graduate somewhere around 10,000 students. And there's so many universities in Davao, and there's so many neighboring universities and colleges then we haven't really fully tapped everyone yet to be honest. And so the talent pool, the literacy, if you listen to a live call, you can't even differentiate now which is a Manileño and a Davaoeño. And your next step of assessing whether is it a Filipino or an American, there are really good ones that you can't distinguish na Pinoy ba to or Hispanic ba siya or totally an American.
Okay. Ang ano ko dyan is it's so important for you, right?
Yes.
Na kung maglalagay kayo ng site, nandyan yung talent pool.
Yes.
Di ba?
Yes.
Hindi yung so far away na wala kang makuhanan ng human resources.
Yes.
Otherwise, walang mangyayari sa business mo. And,
That's right.
And the demand is kind of great, no?
Right.
So, how big yung clientele ng IBEX such that continuous ang pagkuha nyo? I heard, no? Bago lang kayo nag-expand dito sa Davao.
Yes.
So talagang you need more. You need more talents to cater to the demand of your clients.
Yeah.
Are you saying that your clientele is really big or marami pang matatap na mga kliyente doon sa labas such that we really need more more call center agents na i-hire?
Yeah. So to me, it's three things, attorney. One, yes, you're right. Yung demands from the clients super high.
Okay.
There's a lot of opportunities, but the clients would always have they'd always do benchmarking. They won't put all their eggs in one basket.
Right.
They would generally put it in
Spread nila.
Yeah, competition.
Okay.
As we discussed earlier.
So there's one client na pwedeng marami silang mga
yes.
mga BPOs na
Yes.
in-outsource.
Right.
Okay.
Possible yun. Although this particular client of ours, it's their, that's why we expanded. It's their first time outsourcing and outsourcing offshore. We were only given 3 or 4 months to get to about 700, 800 employees for that particular program. And knowing ang hardest season for us to hire kasi is the holiday season. Obviously, you know, we Pinoys would love to spend the holiday, especially Christmas. But yeah, to your point, the clients would go competition.
Anong tinitingnan ng kliyente? Is it the rate?
They look
Kung
at the
sino
rate.
yung mura? Or is it the quality of the service na hindi sila magkakaproblema in the long run sa kanilang mga sa kanilang mga kliyente rin? Or is it more of yung kung sinong kilala nila?
They look at a lot of those. A lot of those you've mentioned na. Rates, quality. It's also built on relationship.
Right.
Kasi somebody that you trust. If you know somebody there, wow, okay, I know this guy will take care of my business. Kasi our agents, sometimes they actually represent they represent a certain program or a client to a point where parang doon sila nag-work. Ganon ka passionate sila sa program na yun.
Na-identify nila
sila
ang sarili nila sa ganung klaseng client.
Yes, and that's why you're able to give better quality. Pero aside from the rate, which is an advantage in Davao, because cost is lower, cost of living is lower, rates are lower, but the quality is the same, even better. So I think a priority, I believe the clients would always look for quality. Kasi you're paying lower, pero you're not getting the right service for your customers, then it defeats the purpose of you hiring a vendor. So yun nga, our key differentiator against our competitors, attorney, in Ibex Global, is really the quality of work we give.
Okay.
And I was telling you nga earlier, one of my program, they're actually number one. Both of the programs, one for one client, supporting different types of work or type of customers. They're both in the top 5 in the world. For about 50 sites that they're competing against globally. And these are Davaoeños.
Bongga.
Yes, and one of the 2 programs is actually number 1 year to date last year. And they're running number 3 today at the start of the year. And that's globally, and again, something to be proud of as a Davaoeño, right?
We will discuss that, no? Paano ba yan? How does it work? How do you know you're number 1, etc., etc.? Who are you up against in the first place?
Yep.
Pero siguro, before we go into that, ang tanong ko is, yung mga kliyente nyo, ano naman ang nature ng businesses nila such that they would need ang services ninyo?
It's in my
case,
case,
usual business ng mga kliyente na nag-a-avail ng services ng mga call centers.
In my case, it's a telecommunications company.
All right.
If it's in a telecommunications company, you have multiple departments there. Specifically for Ibex here in Davao, we handle the billing side of their department.
So any questions regarding your bills, tinatawag yan. Di ba?
Yes,
We have that in our credit cards.
Similar, yes.
Tatawag tayo.
Or your cell phone.
Oo, yeah.
Yes.
Hindi natin alam, call center agent na palang kausap natin dito sa Davao. Akala mo, di ba? If you're from the US, akala mo taga US lang. Yung pala, kausap mo na yung from Davao. Ganun
Yes,
yun.
yes.
Alright. So any concerns regarding the bills?
Anything.
Okay.
And at the same time, as we fix their billing concerns or issues, we also try to give them a tailor-fit solution for sales. So for example, I'm a heavy, kasi it's not just cell phone, kasi it's telecommunications, we usually think it's just phones or mobile phones. The client of mine handles it's a triple play kind of work. It's full package of entertainment. It's the TV, the internet, and the phone. And so any billing concerns, they would call us. Pero let's say, attorney, let's say you're a heavy user on internet. Pero since nung time na kumuha ka ng service, ang first thing that you thought about was wanting to get a lower rate.
Right.
Lahat naman tayo, we want a lower rate. So we end up choosing the lowest package, which has the lower internet speed. So what we do is we fix their bill, try to get the tailor-fit solution. Maybe we ask them questions. How heavy are you in terms of using the internet? What type of websites do you look at? And then we give them certain packages that would fit their needs.
So parang nagsi-sales pitch na rin kayo?
Actually, more than a sales pitch, it's the solution to your issue.
Alright.
But in essence, yes. Kasi we're
pinapa-upgrade
upgrading.
nyo.
Pero there are certain packages kasi sometimes, since gusto natin makatipid, we always want to, instead of a package of, let's say, 3-in-1, we would only get just one package instead of 3-in-1. Where in fact, mas makakatipid ka sa 3-in-1. Although, initially, parang ang laki ng cost mo. It's just same concept as you do your LED light versus a regular light. Right? Initially, mahal si LED. Pero in the long run, you get savings.
Yes.
So, similar concept basically.
Okay. So in other words, ano tawag nito? You do more than just address the billing concerns,
Yes.
no? Aside sa mga yung mga telecom companies, ano pang mga nature of businesses na
There's one, and then technical support.
Okay.
So in Davao, we have the billing and sales program. We have the technical support, which you've mentioned earlier sa expansion namin. That's
when you say technical support, anong ibig sabihin yan?
It's a troubleshooting of your, kasi it's an internet, it's for a high-speed internet program. So it could either be a problem of your modem, of your connection.
Okay. So ang i-hire nyo ng mga call centers nyan, dapat well-versed din sa mga ganyang ano.
You know, yes,
no?
Primarily, kasi they're profiled for it. But the advantage today, everyone knows how to go to a certain website kasi it's
right.
It's everywhere. It's on our mobile phones. Everybody's well versed with Wi-Fi, with routers. Today, I mean, my daughter would probably be good in answering technical questions than I am. So,
parang second nature na sa kanila.
Super, yeah. So, of course, we give them the right training. We find the right profile, and coupled with yun nga, training and all that. But generally speaking, and there's the schools here are good na rin eh. And so there's my daughter who's in grade school has an IT class.
Oh, di ba?
So how much more if you're in college?
Your family is located na in Davao?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's good.
Here.
That's good. So, okay. You have telecommunications.
We have technical support.
Ano yung client nyo na very unique ang kanyang business na kinakailangan ng call center na services? Meron ba?
What we have, I don't have it in Davao yet. Pero the one we have in Manila is a transportation client.
Okay.
They it's similar to the Uber. It's similar to Uber.
Okay.
And interestingly,
Here,
attorney,
saan base?
we have it in Manila.
I mean, the company. Where are the...
It's in the US.
US.
The
okay.
US.
And then?
And interestingly, attorney, it's not voice. We're supporting back office.
Okay.
And so the type of profile we hire are bloggers.
Oh.
The ones that can write.
So, okay, ibang aspeto naman yun.
Ibang-iba
You
yan.
don't assess the applicant for that kind of job based on how they talk, how they
Yes.
communicate orally, verbally,
Right.
but more on sa ano sila, in writing sila. Okay. At syempre, yung technical know-how din nila, di ba?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have a client here in Davao. It's a UK client. It's an order-taking kind of work.
Alright.
So
Tanggap ka ng orders nila. Anong
the clients
work
would
yan?
send out marketing materials to their customers. Catalogs.
Alright.
It's similar to, we have a lot here in the Philippines where you have your catalogs.
Ano yan? Catalogs for
Multiple,
fashion?
could either be fashion
Oh,
or
okay.
anything.
Alright.
And so we take those orders. So what's unique about it? It's in the UK. It's a different time. It's relatively, it's not graveyard, but it touches the graveyard din. Pero most of it starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon local time, and then goes around to the evening. Unlike in the US time, most of it are evening. Pero one thing that we just had, attorney, 2 months ago or 3 months ago, it's also a back office work for a banking client. You're very familiar with it. Unfortunately,
Right.
I can't say it now. But it's a back office. There's no voice involved. What we do is just process refunds. We look at their transactions. If may mali, so let's say tumawag sila, mali yung pagkagawa ng transaction. Basically, we go back to the transaction, we clean it up.
Oh, okay.
So that's the back office work we do for the client.
Okay. So, itong mga ganito, no? Mostly your clients are based abroad, no?
Yes.
And yun na nga, they find it, tawag nito, feasible to hire yung inyong company to do their back office work na sinasabi mo because it's cheaper. Rather than they do it themselves, hiring their own people there in the US or in UK, diba? It's more costly for them.
Right.
So as far as they are concerned, it's more cost effective na i-outsource na lang nila ang ganitong mga klaseng trabaho.
So more than, I think that's one of the primary reasons, attorney, is the cost,
Right.
the savings.
Oo.
Pero it's similar to the concept of how we do outsourcing here. Let's say you hire somebody to do your security, you hire somebody to do your other stuff. Our clients, the way we position and the way our clients look at it is we're the experts in terms of customer service work. Regardless whether it's voice, back office, medical transcription. Kasi however you look at it, whether it's sales or something, to me, everything is service. Service-oriented.
So, ang sa inyo, halo-halo. You can go into anything. Pwede na rin kayo mag-medical transcription or legal transcription.
It has been a big industry now in BPO today, the health programs. Kasi it has evolved. Before, when you say BPO, in fact, to everyone's knowledge, it's really just call center. Before, it was just voice. Pero now it has evolved with the technology super fast. I mean, you buy a phone today, next week luma na siya.
Exactly.
So it has evolved to a back office. Before my experience, we supported a gaming program through an app. And so now it's an app support, right? And so it has been evolving fast.
na-mention mo ang technology and kasi nga most of the clients are offshore from abroad ang mga kliyente ninyo. Of course, dun nga kayo kumikita kasi they pay in dollars, right? Or let's say in tawag to, ano ba yung sa UK na denomination nila doon? Pounds, o di ba? Ang lalaki kaya ng mga value niyan. So, you are mostly dependent on technology.
Yes.
Diba? So, dapat, high quality din yung technology nyo dyan, like yung internet ninyo and all of that, no? So, the technical nandiyan dyan.
Yep.
So, you would say that this kind of business became, tawag nito, popular here in the Philippines precisely because meron na rin tayong technology. Without the technology, we couldn't do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely, right?
I wouldn't say it's perfect. I think, there are talks to it's costly too. Because we're the one of the highest or maybe the most expensive internet in Asia or maybe in the world, maybe
right
here in the Philippines. Pero there is, I think the technology, the infrastructure, ours is connected in our global sites, and so I'm not an expert in technology, but there is short answer. Pero our biggest asset today, I'd like to believe that the technology is important, the location is important, the building is important, but our and it's clear with our CEO and our COO, the companies believe our biggest asset is our people.
All right.
Regardless whether, kasi if you have your technology, you will still get your outages, you'll still get your issues like here and there.
Correct.
It's the usual, parang car that you have to maintain. But your biggest asset are the people.
Right.
Kasi regardless whether you have the right technology from the start, but their orientation is not really service. They don't want to help others. It will just, the clients won't have that right confidence that you will take care of their business.
Right. So more or less, we've taken up, no, if you're a businessman intending to put up a BPO company, yun na yung basic na dapat mong tingnan, di ba? Unang-una, yung talent pool.
Yes.
Meron ka bang matatap dyan?
That's the most important. Yeah.
Pangalawa, yung technology. Kailangan maganda ang technology na in place dyan. Otherwise, palpak din.
Yes.
Pangatlo, siguro yung sinasabi mo infrastructure. You should have a good place na mapaglalagyan ng mga empleyado mo. Pang-apat would be yung kliyente. Importante yun.
Yes.
Diba?
Although like in Davao, it's an easy sell, especially if they are able to visit the site. They love the site. It's a nice the high energy.
Ang site nyo here is only in Lanang.
It's in SM Lanang.
SM Lanang. Wala nang iba.
Lanang. Right now.
Although you did expand there, right?
Yeah, we've taken up the whole third floor.
Okay na ba? Na open na?
It's operational.
Okay.
It's operational.
The last time I was there, it was just under construction pa.
Correct, yes.
Naka-hard hat pa tayo.
Yeah, it's fully operational now.
Okay.
There's a punch list here and there. We have to, yung mga minor ones na lang, but it's fully operational now.
Oh, that's good to know.
But yeah, we're looking at to your point, yung location and all that infrastructure. Part of that is also when you look at location, if you look at yung infrastructure, big part of that is also how the government had set up the city.
Correct.
If it's easy access, it's a fully secured infrastructure, and the technology is readily available. The support is there. You don't have to when you have an issue, you have to call pa. They have to send pa from Manila.
So malaking factor ang government support.
Absolutely.
No?
I think kasi it's not just on the location, it's not just on security, even curriculum for that matter for the schools.
Correct. So dapat talaga all the necessary ingredients are there.
Yes.
And in your case, you found the magandang combination dito sa Davao.
Yeah, and speaking of schools, attorney, last year, sometime in Q3, we partnered with IBPAP. It's one of the organizations for BPOs. And they have a project for colleges that's that's also acknowledged by CHED. And so one of the schools here, USEP,
Okay.
had a chance to actually had a BPO curriculum.
Okay.
There's BPO 101 now.
Really?
Yes.
In USEP.
In USEP, in which they're targeting to put it in all universities and colleges.
Ang tanong dyan, kailangan ba talaga college graduate ang i-hire ninyo? Like in your case, no? Ang kurso mo is hindi naman talaga pang call center, hindi naman talaga pang BPO.
Yeah.
So somehow you just joined itong company na ito and you became one. So is there a particular course that you need to take to become a call center agent?
No. So it's the same question that we hosted professors.
All right.
From USEP, and it's the same question. No, we don't really look at the course.
Kailangan ba college graduate?
In our case, I believe, and my recruitment manager will correct me for this.
Okay.
But yeah, in our case, it's a minimum of 2 years.
In college?
If you don't have an experience.
All right.
But if you do have an experience, we don't look at educational background.
Kasi you know what? Etong sa DepEd na program on K to 12, in the senior high, na additional 2 years natin in high school, they will actually put in some some subjects there na
right.
pwedeng
they're getting them ready to actually work. Yes.
Diba? Pwedeng pagpilian ng mga estudyante na if they want to have training in that line of work or in that kind of industry, pwede, and then later on, pwede na silang mag-apply sa mga
right. Eventually, I think eventually, the industry will also evolve in terms of requirements. K to 12 happened 3 years ago, I think.
Ngayon, ang full implementation. Magsa-start ang K to 12 2016. First batch ngayon.
Is it
ang senior high?
No, kasi senior high.
Yeah,
pero
for senior high.
For, diba, so somewhere there, basically in a X number of years, I am sure that the organization
walang mag-graduate ng high school this year kasi magdadagdag pa ng 2 years, di ba? So,
yes.
Walang papasok din from high school to college for 2 years this year and next year.
Right.
Oo.
Tama. This
diba?
is the transition.
So may hiatus tayo na 2 years.
Correct. I think it definitely will adjust. I see that in the long run. The fact that this industry started with only college graduates alone back in the days, and now it evolved to if you have an experience.
Right.
You don't have to look at your
So,
degree.
pwede. It's also possible. Like, you've been tying up with the schools, no? Pwede rin na makitie up din kayo dito sa mga eskwelahan offering itong mga senior high nga. And, trying to infuse the training that you do for your call centers, call center agents, so that later on, malay mo, may nakitaan kayong potential talents dyan,
yes.
Di ba? Kasi ang purpose naman ng K to 12 is that itong mga naka-graduate ng senior high, they have the option of whether or not they continue to college kasi at that time, supposedly, may necessary training na sila na pwedeng magtrabaho na sila.
Yeah.
Diba? Like, kung nandiyan ang training for call centers, they don't even have to proceed to college. Kasi the saddest thing that I see now is that you have sales personnel in the malls. They're all college graduates, mga teachers yan. And yet, they don't really, hindi na napapakinabangan ang napag-aralan nila, ang college degree nila. Kasi andun sila nakatayo, entertaining customers. I'm not saying na hindi maganda yung trabaho nila, di ba? But it doesn't fit sa kanilang educational attainment.
Right.
So if ang goal mo lang naman sa buhay ay magtinda, or maging why do you have to be a college graduate in the first place? Diba?
Yeah.
So in the case of the call centers, kung kaya ko pala ang ganitong trabaho, why do I have? As long as I have the necessary training, why do I have to be a college graduate? Expensive kaya magtapos ng kolehiyo ngayon.
Yes. Diba? And you know what? If that's, if let's say there's an adjustment happening in a few years, it's also an advantage for us eh. Kasi So now what we're computing is only looking at college graduates. Now you're expanding your talent pool to
with your help, with your cooperation, syempre, with the schools. Kasi sila yung nagpo-produce eh.
That's right.
And you put in there the basic trainings, and then pag tie up, and then pag nakita nyo na, uy, okay, ito pag nag-graduate na ito, pwede na kayong, automatically, ma-hire na kayo sa amin. Diba? That's good. May constant supply kayo of talent.
That helps the community too.
Exactly.
Yep.
And yung mga estudyante na okay na sila dyan, it's either they still continue, go to college, but self-supporting na sila. Not so much dependent on the parents anymore.
Yeah.
Or on their own, they can go and just work. They don't need college education. Diba? Although best pa rin magkaroon ng college education for me, but for some, it really doesn't matter. For as long as they're earning good, fine.
Yeah, I think to your question naman, if it's possible, I think it is 100%. Especially now with the government coming into inserting BPO to the curriculum, and now maybe it's in the colleges, but soon maybe ipupunta rin nila sa K-12.
Yes.
Possible.
Kasi yung additional 2 years in high school, yun yung up to first and second year in college kung tutuusin.
Exactly.
Di ba?
Yep.
Oo. So maganda na rin yun.
May additional 2 years lang.
But at least ang nandiyan is kung part na siya ng curriculum, then who knows? Kasi like you, hindi mo alam na may talent ka pala for this kind of work, 'di ba? Until you tried it, nadala ka lang sa mga friends mo. Eh kung i-part mo yan ng curriculum and they have an option to try it, at pag nagustuhan nila, they go into it later on.
Yeah, so with DepEd or CHED going into schools, the fact na may BPO 101 sila, kasi in my time, it was also hard to adjust. Especially, you don't know what's a call center, you don't know. Pero now, you're educated, your learning is faster eh.
Exactly.
You still need the training, for sure. Pero at least, unlike me before, siguro it would take me a full month to learn, or maybe 2 months. If you shorten that, that's advantageous for everyone eh. Both to the employee and to the employer eh. So, yeah, possible.
Possible, di ba? I hope it happens na magkaroon talaga ng tie-up yung mga companies mismo, so that automatically nakaka-hire sila. Hindi kayo magkakaproblema maghanap ng inyong talents, di ba?
Yeah, and that's what we're advocating now eh. Tying up with colleges and universities, that partnership, because again, it's an advantage for them, it's an advantage for us, of course.
It's a mutual support ang nangyayari dyan.
Tsaka sa local government too, your employment rate would also be better.
Exactly.
So I think
and
so
it addresses underemployment.
Exactly.
Diba? Hindi kailangan na magkaroon ka ng kung ano-anong degree dyan in college. Master's degree ka pa dyan, tapos you end up na ganyan lang pala.
Medyo uso nga sa before eh. Like, you need to have your master's for you to get a work eh.
Diba?
To get a job.
So, eto, we lessen underemployment. At we make people earn as early as possible. Kung kaya naman ng nila, talent nila and all of that, diba?
Yeah.
You just provide the necessary training. Skills, no? Skills naman talaga ang oriented itong BPO.
Pero the good thing is the skill in the BPO life is trainable eh.
Correct.
It's not it's not something that you're born with.
Exactly.
So with proper training, good attitude of course, but with proper training, you'll learn it.
Okay.
You'll learn it.
So, Resi, we've taken up more or less, no? Yung sa business side. Ano ba ang basically kind of businesses nag-a-avail ng services ng mga BPOs dito sa Pilipinas, and what it takes, no? Para magkaroon or you put up a BPO business here sa ating bansa. Nasabi mo yung mga elements. So, later on, after our music and commercial break, we will now be discussing yung sa side naman ng mga employees.
Sure.
Diba?
Yeah.
Ano ba ang kailangang ma-train? Ano ba ang haharapin ng mga taong intending to be part of that world?
Right.
Kasi I was there, talagang pagpasok ko at 11 o'clock in the evening.
Buhay na buhay.
Oh, it's a completely different world in here, di ba? So, anong klaseng pamumuhay? What kind of lifestyle would they have? Kasi it's a big change eh. The usual work that we do is 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
Di ba? Ng umaga o
it's
ng
still 9
araw.
to 5, gabi lang.
But sa kanila iba because nga you cater to the ng business ng iyong kliyente,
Right.
which unfortunately have a different time zones
Yes.
than we do. Okay? So lahat ng 'yan pag-uusapan natin pagkatapos ng ating music and commercial break.
It's Tuesday today.
Sayo sa kabuntagon, bangon na intawon, trabaho paingon. Tubig bugnaw kaayo, di na lang maligo, sagol singot ang baho. Mag-atang sakyanan pagkadelikado, kay mingaw pa kaayo ang mga kadalanan. Laway ray puhunan, bisag dili ambungan, tingog ray basihan. Bisan og lalaki, nga tingog daw babae, dili isapayan. Tambok kag maniwang morena o mistisa, basta kun mag-istorya, kanag yung English pa ka. Call center agent ako, kanunay muinguno, hello, how may I help you? Basta sa telepono, tingog paninduton ko. Call center agent ako, mag-in-English murag Amerikano. Apan ko nang dila magsapit, Bisaya gid kayo. Kung ako gisapot, di magpa-apekto ang tingog sa telepono. Kanunay malipayon ang tingog ko sapnayon, bisan pagkasya giton. Maayong pamatasan, kanunay kong timanan, akong di ko pulihan sa akong gilingkuran. Call center agent ako, kanunay muinguno, hello, how may I help you? Basta sa telepono, tingog paninduton ko. Call center agent ako, mag-in-English murag Amerikano. Apan ko nang dila magsapit, Bisaya gyud kayo. Bisan dako kag sweldo, kung daghan ka bisyo, hinidili pa igo nimo. Call center agent ako, kanunay muinguno, hello, how may I help you? Basta sa telepono, tingog paninduton ko. Call center agent ako, mag-in-English murag Amerikano. Apan ko nang dila magsapit, Bisaya gyud kayo. Call center agent ako, kanunay muingunog, hello, how may I help you? Basta sa telepono, tingog paninduton ko. Call center agent ako, mag-in-English murag Amerikano. Apan ko nang dila magsapit, Bisaya gyud kayo. Bisaya ko na gwapo, call center agent ako, center agent ako.
Digital cable TV just got better with the all-new Home Channel Digital. With over 70 digital channels of your choice, enjoy the clearest picture and sound quality on your TV with the new MPEG-4 digital technology only from Home Channel Digital. If digital TV is your choice, look to Home Channel Digital. Call Home Channel Digital at 221-2850 or 221-3357. Home Channel Digital. It's time for clarity.
It's Tuesday today with attorney Geraldine Chu.
And we're back dito pa rin sa Tuesday Today at ipagpapatuloy po natin ang ating talakayan regarding sa BPO industry, not only here in Davao but in the entire country as well. At particularly, pag-uusapan natin, how does it take to be a call center agent? No? Dito sa ating panauhin ngayon na site director of IBEX Global na si Resi Cayabyab, who was also once a call center agent. So maganda yon na may sarili siyang experience sa pagiging call center. So Resi, you mentioned that you were a call center agent, no, before you became this site director dito sa IBEX. Hindi ba mahirap mag-adjust, maging call center agent? Especially kung ang kliyente mo or kinikater ng company nyo is based abroad na iba ang time zone.
Mm-hmm. It's hard.
Okay.
Kaya the perception outside if you're not working in the call center is dali lang yan. You're just answering the phones.
Right.
Before nga telemarketer ang tawag sa amin, right? It's not the call center agents. But it's hard. You may have the perks of the air conditioning,
right,
nice facility, but the time zone in itself, biggest roadblock namin yan. Because your adjustment would, if you're not healthy, you're not properly, your lifestyle is different from a regular one, you'll get sick.
Oh my, kasi vampira, no? Na gising kayo sa gabi, tulog sa umaga.
But aside from being sick, attorney, you also, so sickness is one, and second is your sacrifice that, we have two different sides of the story.
Alright.
One is yung sacrifice mo of being at night.
Correct.
Because, we Pinoys, we wanna stay with our family,
For those who are married,
Oo,
diba? Ang
yeah.
laking adjustment, no?
Pero for I'm always touched when I get to hear single moms or single dads that are there taking care of their son or daughter, their kids or family for that matter. For them, it is better to work at night. Kasi it's, sleeping, and then you have time with your kids in the morning. You can send them to school. Like what I do is
wala ka ng tulog.
That's the sacrifice that you'll have to take. Pero short answer, attorney, it is hard. It is hard. It's also emotionally stressful din. Because just imagine, and it's my first time to be in a radio program for 2-hour schedule. But if you think about it, call center work, you're in a 9-hour shift. 1.5 hours of that is your break. So basically, you have 7.5 hours talking.
Correct. To different people.
Different people.
And different concerns.
And in our case, on the billing concerns, obviously you're expecting the calls or the customers with issues. You wouldn't call saying, "Oy, ang galing ng bill ko, ang ganda."
Lahat dyan, may issue.
They have concerns. First, it could be a small issue. It could be a complicated, big issue.
Nagwawala na yung kliyente dyan, di ba? Ang caller.
Very much possible. Especially if you're charged na hindi naman dapat.
Possibly nagve-vent yan sa call center agent, di ba?
And that's how good the agents are. The fact that they're adjusting at night. They have those sacrifices that they have to take. And they're able to manage the work that they're doing day in, day out. Just 7.5 hours a day, 20 business days in a month, and in a year.
Do they still have a life?
That's where the BPO companies invest on. Is when you went to the site, it's like you're in a.
May balloons kayo
there's
Yeah, balut.
there's
I
parties.
put some fresh flowers. I don't know if you follow that.
We have some at front.
Diba?
But
Fresh flowers.
yung mga ganon.
Fresh sila kasi gabing-gabi, graveyard shift.
Yeah.
It would liven up, no? Their environment.
I'll take note of that. I know my team is listening right now. They're probably taking notes. But yeah, it's we invest so much in employee engagement is what we call it. We celebrate both the US holidays and we make it big for Philippine holidays.
Dapat lang.
Kasi while we encourage them to fit into an American culture, we can't forget our roots of being a Filipino. And so we're big of that. In IBEX attorney, there's 4 major activities we do, and a lot of them are minor. We make sure that we have our family day kasi the agents are there and they're there because of their family. We in fact educate. So every family day and then Halloween, we give them a tour of the site
Para
maintindihan nila what kind of work kasi.
And where do the parents go pag gabi? Baka iba na nasa isip nila, di ba?
That's true.
Ano ba talagang trabaho ng ng nanay o tatay ko?
That's true. And then the employees feel proud that their family can see what they're doing as well. So that's one. We have those family day. Obviously the Christmas parties, we usually had those kickoffs. We have the
summer outings kayo.
We have an IBEX Idol. Similar concept as the American Idol and similar what I told you. Since we started in Davao, we joined the competition. It's against all other IBEX sites. Davao is the winner for 2 consecutive years. Hopefully this year we win it again.
In Davao is just so great.
Yes.
All the way to singing.
Oo nga eh. Yeah, so
Hindi, let's go back doon sa number 1 na factor, no? Ang kailangang ma-adjust ang mga empleyado ng pagtatrabaho sa gabi.
Time, I don't know if you saw the clinic.
I did.
We have, yes.
I did.
So now
wala
we're
namang nagko-collapse dyan. Wala namang bumibigay ang katawan.
Wala naman.
Kasi, kulang sa tulog.
Wala naman nagko-collapse. So kulang sa tulog, eventually high blood.
Correct.
So I think
ano ang health hazards ninyo ng mga call center agents?
So most of
given the kind of work that you do. Hindi naman physical di ba?
Hindi siya physical.
It's more that the schedule talaga ang medyo dyan.
I think it's well, the top 2 I see is yung blood pressure, high blood pressure. And I would think it's depending on the season too. Conjunctivitis has been our problem for
really
since November, I think. Pero very common is high blood.
High blood talaga.
Very common.
Kahit pa bata nagkaka-high blood na.
Yes.
Because of yun na nga ang inyong
because of the so that's part of it. Kasi if you actually talk to a doctor, it's if you have the full time of sleeping, binaliktad mo lang, you're fine. You're okay. I think what's also hurting us, which we educate our employees, are the lifestyle. Kasi apart from working at night, after work, what do you do? Is the question.
Correct. Saan ba sila pumupunta pagkatapos?
So either
they're off at what time?
Nako, very dynamic din
Okay.
But common is 6 o'clock.
Ay, maaga pa.
Oo, maaga pa.
Okay.
So they're very young, usually they want to stay up late, just mingle with their peers. And since it's a very stressful environment, attorney, most of them have breakfast. Some of them, vices are there too.
Okay. Do you allow smoking while working?
Outside, of course. Yes, it's yes.
May smoking area
yes.
kayo.
Well, it's a strict city ordinance too.
Correct.
Pero we've integrated programs that would proactively. So what we're encouraging them is So we've given them health benefits or HMO cards that would take care of them. Pero instead
So may
of
annual,
being
annual checkups.
that's part of it. Pero aside from being reactive, we've inserted programs in the clinic that would get them healthy proactively. So it's now preventive. We're actually trying to work with 2 organizations today that would encourage, parang we're giving an employee points, incentives for them to get into a healthy
Lifestyle.
activity. Oo. Kasi as we see yung time zone adjustments, the stressful work, we have to take care of them. I mean, it's not just I think it's a good benefit for them to sa amin attorney kasi it depends on your tenure. Your maximum number of dependents is 3, I believe, so you get 4 HMO cards, which is very competitive against other BPOs. Pero as a leadership team, we're thinking, okay, we're taking care of them, great. Pero how do we prevent it? Kasi antay pa ba natin sila magkasakit? Right?
True.
So, in yung mga programs that we're being very creative of, and soon, I believe this year we'll have those 2 health and fitness organizations that we will be partnering with, incentivizing our employees with that.
Okay, so that's good to know na ina-address nyo yung health hazards that go with the job, no? The call center agent. Let's go to compensation.
Sure.
Dahil nga gabi siya, no? Kulang sa tulog itong mga call center agents nyo during nighttime. Of course, you have to compensate them for that. We have a law under the labor code. Meron yung mga night differential premium, di ba?
Yes.
So, nabi-built in na yun sa compensation package that you give to them. How much do call center agents earn? I mean, the standard rate or the basic usual rate na alam mo as far as Davao is concerned. Ano ba ang usual rate ng mga call center agents? How much do they earn a month?
I can give you a range.
Yes,
siguro.
the range.
So we have 3 levels kasi in IBEX. Level 1, 2, and 3. All those are
entry level.
All those are entry levels.
Okay.
Pero the levels indicate the complexity
of
the program. The level 3 are relatively much more complicated than a level 1.
Okay.
And the profile is different between the 3. Pero on an average, you're probably gonna get somewhere around 16 to 18.
Average
that's all in.
Monthly income.
Monthly.
That's net or gross?
Gross.
Okay.
Pero on top of that, attorney, there's what we call bonus and there's what we call incentives.
May mga signing bonuses kayo?
Depends on the season.
Alright.
But yes.
Okay.
Yes. Pero so aside from their gross basic compensation, they get the incentives and the bonuses. It sounds the same.
Right.
Pero we define it as yung incentives more real time. It could either be in a form of a Starbucks GC. Or maybe a spa GC or whatnot.
Talaga?
Or
when do you give out the
SMGC.
incentive?
It's more real time. The incentives are more real time.
Okay.
It's either we do it day by day or maybe let's say we're all of a sudden the client wants something achieved for a particular week.
Okay.
And so we have to be creative enough to adjust to that. And we create certain incentive. It could either be people are wanting to go by their teams as well. And so sometimes instead of giving it individually incentives, the requests of the employees are more team building with their, they probably want to go a certain resort or something.
Okay.
So those are the incentive types. The bonuses are similar to yung, and I will probably discuss it later on too, yung we stack rank everyone.
Okay.
So we measure them with certain metrics, or kumbaga, if put it in a layman's terms, sa college, you have multiple subjects.
Okay.
You have your grades per subject, and then you have your total grade.
The average.
The average.
Okay.
That's your, what we call it, the balance scorecard. So you have your metrics, can be compared to the subjects, and then your average score of all the metrics we give you a certain bonus for that every month.
Okay, so the bonus would be in terms of cash?
Cash.
Okay.
It goes straight to their payroll then.
So kapag when are you entitled to get the bonus? Or when will you be given the bonus? Kapag na-meet mo yung
Certain
parang may quota ka? Ganun ba yun?
Quota, yeah. Quota is the very common word. Pero parang certain grade basically.
So who grades you? Who will grade the
It's an automated computation. Pero we set what the subjects are, what the targets are.
Okay.
Or what the metrics are, and then we educate them. Here's how you will reach it.
So there are those who will really get the bonus. There are those who won't.
Oh yes, there are.
Okay.
Part of that we club it with certain company rules. Pero in my case kasi most of them are actually reaching it, especially if you're if you're number one. That means everyone has a high average score. And so most of them gets it.
Okay.
And then, attorney, what we do, I think kanina na-mention mo na we send them to summer outing. We break down our employees to 4 buckets . Ang top bucket namin, ito yung mga high performers.
Okay.
X% of the high performers, just last year we sent them to Boracay. So aside from all the perks they get and the health benefit they get,
so yung nabibigyan ng mga travel packages, yung talagang yung doing well.
Yes.
Part of their incentives and bonus.
Yes.
Ayun. Now, my question is ganito. You said na in Davao, average from 16 to 18 ang entry.
Yep.
Compensation package nila. How about in Manila? Sa pagkakaalam mo?
I would say at max it's probably doubled from what we have here.
Really?
It's primarily because of the
they're doing the same
cost
work,
of living.
They're doing the same work?
Yes.
And doubled siya.
Yeah, I think that's why it has been an ideal setup for BPOs now to move to provinces. Kasi apart from your cost savings, you're saving and at the same time getting the same quality of work or even better. Pero yeah, it's I think it's primarily the cost of living.
All right. So I'm looking at that now, yung aspetong yan, because as far as the BPO company is concerned, like in your case,
right,
you have sites in Manila and you have a site here in Davao. Is this the first provincial site that IBEX
It
has?
is.
Okay.
It is.
So, insofar as the business is concerned, mas malaki ang nai-income nyo from the site in Davao because ang overhead expense mo in terms of labor, mas mababa.
Actually, good, very timely that you asked that. So proud of the IBEX Davao team. Since the cost is lower, the quality is the same or better.
Exactly.
We have been generating profits and highly contributing. We're actually number 1 in the Philippines today in terms of income or profit because we have been decreasing cost.
Exactly.
And we're generating the same amount of revenue and quality.
In terms of net income, mas malaki kayo.
Yes.
Diba? So, ang tanong dyan is, you have your sites in Manila, you have here in Davao, and according to you, wala naman talagang diferensya sa quality. In fact, mas nag-excel pa dito sa atin, nagna-number 1 tayo dito. As far as the clients are concerned abroad, do they look at that? Nakakapamili ba sila na, I want your site in Davao because mas mura doon? Or ang tanong is, as far as the clients are concerned, magmamatter ba kung saan ang programs nila naka-assign, whether it's in the province or it's in Metro Manila? Do they have a choice in that so that as far as they're concerned, there is also a corresponding reduction in the cost?
They have.
Offer nyo sa kliyente because the one servicing them is the site in Davao.
Yeah, they have. Kasi pricing per se, before it even enters to operations, ibibigyan mo sila ng options
Okay.
based off agreements.
So alam nila kung saang site
Right.
ang magtatrabaho ng kanilang ano.
Pero our ultimate discussion kasi dyan, attorney, the reason why, kasi if we only think about cost, then that means we would have moved all of our business in provinces today.
Exactly.
However, there's also diversity of culture, diversity of people, and there's also is what we call business continuity. So we don't want to fully put it in a certain city, because what happens if we have another big typhoon, we have another big outage. I remember 2 years ago in Davao, Typhoon Pablo,
Right.
back then, all of the BPO centers were down because the servers in Cagayan de Oro were hit.
Oo, yung ating technology.
Technology
ang
was-
nagka-problema.
And that's where Manila took over our calls.
Ayun.
And similarly, US and the Philippines, or which wherever part of the world, were able to back up each other in terms of yun nga, just strategy of business continuity.
So in other words, although lower ang cost nyo dito sa Davao,
Right.
you won't be giving up the sites in other places precisely to address that kind of contingency.
Yes, at saka with diversity kasi, while I will claim that we are the best, there are still good ideas based on culture, based on differences in terms of experiences. There's still good collaborative work done if you go global. Just the presence of work. Tsaka there are clients that are maybe they're big in the US, but they also have businesses in Mexico. Which is why when you were there, attorney, we told you that we have just recently opened Jamaica, our Nicaragua,
Right. Oo.
to also support our Spanish QC. Similar program as ours, pero now can cater to Spanish. We
Kasi
have,
sa atin dito, usually English talaga.
yes, primarily. There are also multilinguals is what we call it.
Okay.
Pero high paying jobs itong mga to. But apart from that, kasi if we put it on a Jamaica or Nicaragua, aside from them able to talk Spanish, the culture of that having that Spanish culture is also an advantage.
Correct.
So that's why most of the clients, and especially the big ones, are looking for global presence. So yun.
In your case, kagaya nitong mga call center agents natin based in Davao, no? They are able to imitate the accents ng mga places, no, kung saan ina-entertain nila yung mga calls. If it's the US or UK, yung mga
Yep.
British accent na yan, syempre, no?
Yeah. Tsaka everyday when you talk, eventually masasanay ka na.
Kailangan ba talaga na mag-adapt sila sa mga accent na yan? Is it a no-no na ang mga callers will identify kung Pinoy siya or totoo hindi talaga siya American for instance, no, na is it part of the deal with the client na dapat ang mga call center agents nyo hindi
Can
talaga mahahalata, ha?
Yeah,
Ganon.
yeah.
Part yan ng deal?
Not during these times. I think accent is a plus, definitely. For sure. Kasi, you know, somebody...
May premium ba ang call center agent pag perfect yung accent niya?
no naman. Somebody overseas that talks to someone with a similar, ma-amaze ka rin and so it's a plus. Pero more than anything, what we're looking for is somebody that can understand, that has that thought process. Kasi
At
once you
mabilis.
understand,
Mabilis.
ma-process mo, you give the solution, obviously all these in English, then you're a plus employee, because you can talk good English, you can talk with good accent, but cannot process or cannot
Comprehend.
What the issues are of the customer, then it'll be hard for you to, kumbaga, to on the fly lang na you're just answering questions on the fly, but really you're not getting into, kasi attorney, we're also measuring the is what we call HT, average handling time. So are you answering it in 10 minutes? Are you answering it 5 minutes? Or
So very important na malalaman or ma-identify ka agad ng agent ano yung problema.
Very important.
Diba?
Very important. We even have keywords that we train them on such on.
Kasi there are callers na sila mismo they find it hard to express what the problem is.
That's
right?
that's a much more complicated call, but that's true. Kasi what if you're while we continue to say it's a millennial world, there's so many people that don't understand yung cables or how would you connect this red wire to where do I connect this, or what happened to my TV pero yung pala natanggal lang yung certain wire. So yeah, I think yun nga, that's why the voice business or the call center work will continue to be there, because just imagine if they're talking to a machine and if they don't get to the customers, aren't able to articulate yung issue talaga nila, paano siya masasagot ni machine?
Actually, yun din ang yun din ang problema na nakikita ko. Na yes, you have humans answering your call.
Right.
But then again, ganun din they can only do so much.
Yes.
'Di ba? Kung ano lang din yung kaya nilang maitulong sa'yo.
Yes.
Hindi naman lahat ng concerns mo na-address nila.
Right.
Like, take for example, may call center agent nga, pinasa ka, kinausap mo, and then sabi nila, ma'am, that's not our concern anymore. I'll pass you on to the next blah, blah, blah. And then pagdating doon, ulit ka na naman. So sometimes, it takes so much time if you're the caller for your entire concerns to be addressed.
Right.
Kasi ipapasa-pasa ka rin nila kasi napaka-compartmentalized din ng mga trabaho ng mga call center agents na ito. They cannot go beyond. Like in the billing, no, sa credit card, sasabihin mo, okay, and I have another concern. I want this done. Okay, ma'am, let me refer you to blah, blah, blah. Ayan na naman, hintayan na naman, and then you have to start over again, explain again. So, yun, while you're there to address yung mga problemang yan, accessible kayo all the time, tatawagan lang, ang downside to it is that very limited lang din.
Yeah, that's where you differentiate a good BPO company to a not so good BPO company.
Okay.
Kasi that's where you give the value add. The clients hire you just to answer questions and all that. Pero the value add you give, and I think that's why generally the Philippines is very good in this industry. Kasi apart from just being good in answering calls and questions, you now evolve to sometimes, attorney, the agents are even better than the client in itself. They know the
product
better. Yung kasi now you're able to say like feedback like that, attorney. On a credit card, a simpleng issue on i-activate ko versus wala tong bill dapat itong certain item na to hindi ako na-charge. So if you think about it, parang ang dali lang nung dalawa Bakit hindi mo na lang siya i-combine?
Exactly.
And so, as if you're a billing, like us, we're a billing, we support the billing side of the telco company. What we do is, client, ito yung common questions na nakukuha namin. Now, our training team will create job aids, will train our people to also answer activation. So now, kasi we also measure yung efficiency, attorney. So now, ang sasabihin namin sa client, we will reduce the number of calls you take here and here. Kasi pagdating dito, pag tinanong kami, okay, we can answer that question too. So now it becomes a universal service rather than departmentalized environment. So it's faster. There's still opportunities, pero now activation.
So in other words,
It's-
ini-expand nyo rin.
Oo.
That's good.
Oo.
That's good.
Pero it's still there. I wouldn't say, especially, it's 100% recording. We still get to listen to calls that have opportunities. Wala namang perfect. And so we correct those. We have
So it's
and
still a work in progress.
it's still a work in
Okay.
progress.
Ang tanong dyan is, eto curious lang ako ha, how do you bill the client? Is it per calls that were taken, or is it per hour, per minute that you entertain the calls, or package deal yan?
It's very dynamic din eh.
Okay.
There are clients that are by the hour, merong by the minute, may by
Okay.
the call, may per sale.
Pero usually, the common one, anong
It's
preference
usually
ng
by
client?
the minute.
By the
Usually
minute.
by the minute.
So,
We're talking
mas
about
kumikita kayo pag matagal ang agents nyo to entertain calls. Is that it?
so there are agreements na yes, merong ganon. Meron, but most of the agreements are may certain limit sa handling time mo.
Okay.
So if you exceed that, hindi siya kasama sa
So may cap.
yes, may cap.
Okay,
Yes.
per minute, but maximum would be this.
Yes.
Pag lumampas yan, inefficient na yung call center agent mo. Parang ganon.
Pero if you look at it, logically speaking, you're right. If you have longer calls, you get to bill longer din.
Yes.
Pero
Hindi ba yan na-exploit, yung anggulong yan?
I don't think so. Kasi the other side of the story there, attorney, is if you have shorter calls, you get to answer more calls.
Exactly.
So that's why it's two sides. Although we also don't compromise shortening the call for quality. Kasi I'd rather take a longer call with quality work or quality service than, kasi like to your point earlier, the work around din is, let's say nagtatanong ka sa credit card mo, instead of answering the question, transfer na lang kita.
Oo nga.
Kasi you're trying to shorten your call.
Ganon. So, ibig sabihin, pag na-transfer na, end of call na yon.
Tapos na.
As far as that agent is concerned.
Tapos na yung call.
Pinasahan ka, ibang call na naman
ibang
yun.
call na siya. So you really don't compromise. That's why 100% yung recording, because we have to check it. Apart from their supervisors checking, there's a quality team checking din.
How does the client know na you're doing well? Do they get feedback from their own clients, from the callers?
Everything is measured. So
Okay? Or may instance ba na yung caller mismo hindi happy the way the call center agent entertained the call at nagreklamo? Saan sila magrereklamo at ano ang mangyayari pag nagreklamo?
super high technology na rin. They're either gonna get a text message to answer a survey, an email, or an automated IVR.
Okay.
So they can give feedback anytime. At the same time, most of our
What if they don't get it? I mean,
it's impossible to
okay,
do
they get like I make a call and the call center agent was very rude to me, and then natapos na yung call and I wanted to report it. I don't get a text message asking me how it was. I don't get an email asking for my feedback.
right.
So is there a feedback mechanism
It's very different
na
kasi
pwedeng i-avail ng mga callers?
yeah, it's very different from in the Philippines. We're getting there, but in the US kasi most of the clients, if not all, have a certain they're open to a certain communication line.
Okay.
As to where you can give feedback. At the same time, if not all of our calls today are measured through that survey mechanism. You can get feedback for anything and everything that they want to say.
So sa inyo talagang meron.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
that feedback mechanism na.
And then at the same time, kasi attorney, what they do, the clients would usually listen to calls either scheduled or
Alright.
surprise.
And random.
Or random.
They don't choose sinong agent.
Just enter numbers, and okay.
And the call center agents are aware of that. That's why they're on their best behavior all the time.
They're aware that somebody will listen. They're not aware as to when and who
Kaya nga, to
Yes.
keep them on their toes all the time.
Yes.
Diba? Because
Yes.
you never know. Baka any moment na may nakikinig na
Pero
sa'yo.
sad to say, attorney, we still have employees or opportunities that would abuse certain calls and whatnot. It's getting lesser and lesser as we get it corrected.
Anong common problems nyo with your employees? Ano yung masakit sa ulo dyan? Is it the personalities ng mga empleyado na may mga talaga matitigas ang ulo, mga pasaway? Or tawag nito, meron talagang nagtitrigger sa mga empleyado like
Pero-
some policies that you may have na hindi sila nag-a-agree. Meron bang mga problema along that line?
It's a combination of a lot of things.
Alright.
Kasi understandably, yun nga yung pinag-usapan natin, just 7.5 hour of taking calls every day. Very stressful. Especially,
Tapos nakaupo lang sila, no?
tapos you have a customer that you want to help, tapos sumisigaw.
Oo nga.
Parang, I'm here to help you and you're not cooperating. Parang ganon. So, you end up also getting emotional about your work. Aside from that, it's a very fast technology. Your phone today is old tomorrow.
Correct.
So, there's yung mga changes there. So, common is certain tasks that they have to do, certain steps,
Okay.
na may miss yung certain steps na yun. In concept, nagawa niya yung whole 1 to 10 steps. Pero, common is yung
Na shortcut niya.
1, 2, tapos nag-jump to 5,
Okay.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
Yung mga ganun. May miss kang certain parts.
Okay. So ano yan? Does that merit a disciplinary action?
It depends.
Okay.
There are some policies that are zero tolerance.
Okay.
For example, in a banking and a credit card environment, let's say,
Yung mga security.
rudeness is zero tolerance for sure.
Yes. And then security.
Security,
Oo, like yung mga security questions nyo.
Or for example, credit card, you gave your credit card number, kinapi-paste ko yun somewhere else.
Okay.
Those are zero. Or maybe, at the end of the call, hindi ko inulit yung mga charges. Instead na, attorney, I'll charge you 300 pesos. I will just say, attorney, that's only 50 pesos. Pero I know it's
okay.
300, pero I told you 50 pesos lang. So there's zero tolerance. There are some that just needs feedback.
So, mga ganon, pag zero tolerance, tanggal talaga si call center agent.
If we have a cause,
Okay.
high likely, yes.
How often, or gaano ba kabilis ang turnover ng mga call center agents nyo? Do you lose agents regularly, such that you need to hire more every day or every month?
Not so. It's, if I compare it to regular industry, it's faster. Pero,
Why is that?
If
Do they
I-
jump from one company to another? Or ayaw lang talaga nila? The kind of work
The
of a call center
preference-
agent doesn't suit them.
I think it's still time.
Okay.
The schedule.
Hindi nila
Primarily.
nakayanan. Okay. Yung mga baguhan, I suppose.
Yes, and then the complexity of the program could also be the factor. Pero mainly, the company believes that we have a very low turnover kasi in comparison to other BPO companies. It's in my 13 years, this is probably the best that I've seen so far. Very low turnover.
So talagang inalagaan nyo ang mga empleyado. I suppose.
Yes. So
Okay.
I think with so much of the investments and the engagements and the like, it's not a perfect company. I wouldn't say it is. I think we have opportunities so much. Pero low turnover in the,
Wala kayong kaso sa labor sa NLRC.
I wouldn't say we don't.
Alright.
To be perfectly straightforward, we have.
Who you have? Lahat naman eh. I mean, hindi, kay baseless or kay may basis yan. That's normal sa
And
mga companies.
for us kasi attorney and you practice your being a lawyer too. It's also an avenue for them to voice out.
Right.
It's an opportunity for us to also explain our side legally. Due process. And that's why even if it's zero tolerance attorney, if I may go back to the topic, we don't necessarily tell you, oh, hey, you're fired.
Oh naman. That's a no-no.
No, definitely.
That's a no. Illegal dismissal yan.
Absolutely.
Kailangan may due process kayo.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, even yung straight cut, alam mo na, we don't do it.
You still go through the process.
Kasi, it could be, she had a family problem. I don't know.
So, kailangan pa rin,
or maybe a system glitch.
Correct.
Biglang, on a certain time nung call na yun, biglang,
brown out.
or may outage. Or, brown out. Although may seconds lang naman yan. But there's multiple reasons as to why that happened. So, we investigate pa rin. There's proper, all in all, due process is being done.
Kailangan talaga. I mean, for a company that invests millions or billions, I suppose, sa ganyang klaseng industry, dapat talaga, insofar as labor laws are concerned, i-follow or shall we say comply para walang problema.
And again, it's sad to hear kung if we keep on saying our asset is our people and yet sa closing parang hindi gano'n ng
pagdating sa statistics ng mga kaso, ang dami, something is wrong there.
Parang hindi siya match, right? So
ganito, let's go back doon sa number one. How does it happen? Paano kayo how do you consider yourself number one? In what category?
Similar to what I've mentioned kanina, attorney dun sa employees, we're also graded as a company, as a site.
Who do you compete with? Sa mga sites ng IBEX or with other BPO companies?
We compete with our sites.
Alright.
Grabe. I mean, even with our internal sites, the competition is really high.
So within IBEX, may competition na?
Right. And then outside pa?
Okay, let's get this right, ha? Dito sa Davao, syempre, ang mga empleyado dyan, nagko-compete na among themselves.
Yes.
Diba? And then, yung different sites ng IBEX mismo, all over the country and even abroad na mga sites, no, nagko-compete din kayo.
Compete in terms of yung rankings, performance, no? Yes.
And then, as IBEX, as among the other BPO companies, nagko-compete din.
Correct.
Tama?
Correct.
So, how do you determine now?
Even their internal sites of the client.
Okay.
We get to compete as well.
So, how do you know that number one kayo?
There are clients kasi in my clients, I have one client kasi that doesn't really show other results of other companies but 90% of my clients show it. So I'm able to see this X company's results.
Sinishare nila.
Talaga siya, naka-stack rank.
Okay.
Parang ito yung number one site. You would see, so if you're at the last, you'll
feel bad
about it. Parang, oh my God.
Why is it? Bakit nila pinapakita yon? Why do you think? For the
number one, it's always a pride campaign.
Okay.
For me particularly, if I see Davao in there, then I'd go IBEX sites in Manila. We're number one.
Wait. The client mismo ipopost nila.
Yes, it's shared.
Kung sino ang ranking nila per company or per site of a company?
Per site of a company.
Ayun.
So if you're a company with multiple sites, you would also see it there.
Okay.
Pero so it's a very dynamic kasi the report would show per site, the report will show by company rin or by vendor.
Okay. So per site makikita doon ang Davao.
Yes.
Okay? How often number one ang Davao na site?
So kasi we just started this last year since my program was number one. And the other,
when you started that program, number one kaagad kayo?
Oh no, it's it's been going up and down, pero lesser
okay.
up and downs though.
Okay.
And the decreases in rankings are mainly number 1 ka, tapos biglang number 3. Kasi it's computed by percentages eh.
Okay.
From, kumbaga, actual results to target versus
Okay.
target. So,
Okay.
so ganun. Pero, I'd say multiple times siya nag-number 1 for you to get to number 1 year to date.
So, ibig sabihin, kapag nag-number 1 yan, ang unang-unang ano dyan is, syempre, proud na proud ka.
Yes.
Pangalawa, does it translate to new businesses for the company, especially the Davao site?
It's always not a guarantee.
Alright?
But if you're our mindset kasi, if you're a client, where will you alangan lang pumunta ka dun sa
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So parang the in terms of quality, in terms of delivery of the services, doon na. It's
Yeah.
proven and tested.
It's
na.
not written though.
Exactly.
But it's kumbaga it's a proven fact, yes. That you will only select to the top companies. You know,
At mag-i-increase kayo pag ganyan. Do you get to demand an increase dahil nag-number 1 kami yung pinaka dyan, namamayagpag?
depends kasi
Okay.
apart from the compensation I gave you kanina, attorney, employees get their appraisals eh. And so in IBEX kasi, instead of the usual appraisal, so everyone's getting evaluated for their performance para may feedback din on where they improve on. We have a 10-year base increases. So in some companies kasi they do it yearly.
So yung let's say 18K na entry level, in a year's time, pwedeng mag-double
Oh,
yun?
absolutely. I have more employees that are more than that range.
Oh, okay.
On that same level, yeah.
Okay. So, masasabi natin, Resi, na itong trabaho sa BPO, particularly sa call center, is for highly competitive people.
Yes.
No? Kasi
yes.
the environment itself is very competitive.
Either-
Pinagko-compete kayo hindi lamang ng kumpanya ninyo among the sites, but also the client itself.
Or even
Nirarank
or
kayo
even
eh.
within your team.
O, di ba?
Pero attorney, you're right, for highly competitive people.
Oo.
Pero if you enter, it's a big advantage. But if you enter the companies of BPOs today, even if you're not competitive, automatic by nature, you will get competitive eh.
Oo, kaya nga, because the
You-
environment itself
Oo.
will make you competitive.
There's I don't know if you remember the site, there's so many boards
Oo nga.
showing where you are.
Oo, tapos may naghihiyawan dito na
Para ito yung
banda,
Vince
may
List.
nagsisigawan dito
Oo,
kabila, di
ito yung
ba?
Vince Lister, bale, para ito yung mga
Exactly.
principals, ito ba yung
Oo.
valedictorian or what?
And precisely, it's there para, to keep them going.
Yep.
At yung iba naman na talagang nagustuhan yun, yung, di ba, instead of just staying in a boring job, 9 to 5 boring job, na nandyan ka lang sa desk mo, harap ng
Doing the
computer,
same
walang
thing.
ginagawa, napapanis yung laway mo. Here you are, in this kind of environment, a very competitive, sometimes the adrenaline rush is enough for
Right.
these people to keep going.
Right.
Right? And they stay in that job. Kaya nga, gustong-gusto nila yung ganyang klaseng trabaho.
You'll enjoy it. I think
Diba?
it's just how
Ang
you
3 months mo, naging 4 years sa'yo, di ba?
13 years now.
13 years ka na pala ngayon, di ba? So, it could be addictive. That kind of competitiveness in a workplace could be addictive.
Yes.
Kaya that could be a main reason also bakit, apart from the compensation, nagsistay ang mga employees.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
It's very
ang iba,
rewarding.
Ang
Very
iba,
rewarding.
pinapalad kagaya mo, naging site director na. Right?
Yes.
They go up the ladder. In other words, there's improvement for them career-wise.
Yeah, it's rewarding both monetary, it's
Exactly.
rewarding on a career perspective as well, yes.
So would you say that this kind of industry is here to stay or baka fad lang ito?
It is here to stay. I think, although I think we will be very creative, it will evolve from just voice to chat to transcription to health now to legal transcription.
Legal transcriptions. It's very dynamic, no?
Super dynamic,
Oo.
especially now everything is in the apps eh. Soon they're probably gonna be app support soon.
So, my God, way back in high school, hindi ko ma-imagine na may ganitong trabaho in the future, di ba?
Yeah.
I'm sure those who were born before me, talagang hindi. Ibang klase ang concept ng ating trabaho before. But now
Right.
this kind of job has become the in thing now. And I'm sure marami ang interested to be part of it. Lalong-lalo na yung very competitive na mga tao.
And the good thing about this attorney is now you don't really have to go abroad to earn such amount.
Exactly.
And all hats off to our OFWs, but the BPO industry today has come close to the OFW income that revenue
For a while,
to the government or na-exceed.
Na-exceed.
That's
I
right.
think it was last year.
Oo. So,
Kasi ang bayad ng mga clients in dollars naman, di ba, pagpasok. So,
Correct.
parang i-compare mo sa remittances, parang nag-exceed yung sa BPO.
this has helped our employment rate. This has helped the government. This
The
has helped
economy.
economy
Yes.
overall. So every time we get an opportunity, in this format, or host our teachers, you'll feel proud and look back and say, oh, it only started with just a regular weather report, right? And everyone else have their own unique story for sure.
Yes.
And now it's a high-paying job. It has helped everyone else
Oo.
too.
And the good thing and the unique thing about it is global.
It's
ang
global.
ano niya.
Oo.
I mean, you transcend boundaries, national boundaries. Ang kausap mo andun sa Amerika. Ang kadil mo is nasa UK, di ba? So, basically, napaka-unique. Paliit ang mundo natin.
Well, perfect
With
example
all
of
the
Tarsi
internet and the technology we have.
is our COO.
Exactly.
Being a Filipino from Mindanao who now heads all our sites as our company COO. That's something that obviously Pinoy should be proud of, but more importantly, the people from Mindanao should be proud of.
Kaya nga eh. So, future plans of IBEX. Do you plan to expand some more such that there will be other sites here in Mindanao?
We will.
Okay.
Definitely. We are exploring. We're in the stage of assessing cities with the points that we've discussing, local government support and the like, a talent pool, of course. We are, but aside from looking at Mindanao, we're also looking at the Visayas region. Priority is ideally our priority is here though.
So, ibig sabihin talaga niyan, this kind of business will be here for a long time.
Yes.
Kasi marami pa kayong gustong marami expansion na gusto nyong gawain.
Right.
Right? So, it's not just a fad. It's gonna be here for a long time to stay.
It is. At saka, attorney, the fact that the people, it's proven that less cost and you're number one, it's almost, you don't have to decide
Exactly.
if you wanted to be here or not. It's
so good
you
for the
would have,
business, di ba?
you want to be here.
If you're the businessman, talagang ano pang hahanapin mo?
Oh, you really
Right?
want to be here. Yeah.
Okay, so it's, oh my gosh, it's oras de peligro for us. It's 12:06. Resi, final word before we go.
I guess
Invite the people to be part of your IBEX and embrace nila ang ganitong klaseng trabaho because it's here to stay.
sure. Well, first of all, thank you, attorney, for inviting me to be here. Again, it's always a good opportunity to share what it is, not only for IBEX but for the rest of the BPO companies in the Philippines. I think there's great opportunities, there's good growth, it's very rewarding, and so thank you for inviting me here. For IBEX, this is our third year being in Davao. We started in Manila. We have 3 sites over there. We're potentially adding 1 more this year and growing for the provincial sites. And so please follow us in our social media Facebook
Ayun, meron
account.
pala kayo.
We
Okay,
do.
okay.
We have a lot of likes now actually.
Okay.
It's Ibex Global Philippines in Facebook. You can see all updates there.
So pag may mga job opportunities, nandun din.
It's all there.
Alright.
Even to a point where we give advices and recommendations how to get the job. It's Ibex Global Philippines. We're at for Davao, we're at the SM Lanang Premier. We're actually at the 3rd floor. However, the entrance is at the ground floor. It's right beside China Bank. So feel free
Fronting yung hotel.
Fronting Park Inn, yes.
Okay.
Although we have another entrance now with the expansion
Right.
at the cinema area. That's where Ibex Global is. So feel free to walk in
and submit your applications.
check the site.
Talaga?
Yes.
Tumatanggap kayo? Continuous
Yes.
ang
Our
ano nyo?
recruitment is always there.
All year round?
Yes.
Talagang continuous yan?
Yes.
See,
Yes.
ganun pala.
We're
Ganun.
expanding
It's not
aggressively.
because malakas ang turnover, ha? It's because you continually expand.
Right.
You need more
Expanding.
people for the new programs and projects.
And you know what, attorney, to make it easier then, in our Facebook, and again, Ibex Global Philippines, we have an online form there. So
Pwede doon na sila mag-fill up.
they can either answer that or they can send their CVs to phcareers@ibexglobal.com.
Ayan. So talagang pinadali nyo ang pag-apply
Yes.
sa inyo.
Lastly, attorney, if I may, my team has been very excited to hear their names here.
Oh, sure. I-greet mo
They've
silang
seen you
lahat.
too.
Say hi to all of them.
But my family first.
Okay, go.
To Ichu, my wife, Akay and Andre, hello. But for my team, Sandy Cases and Hazel Tupas from HR. Yani Valle from recruitment, Chris Canlas of client services, Jedi Cruz and Mel Castino, Faye Alconera from training, Jepoy Dismas from facilities, and then from operations, Ferdinand Tatlonghari, PJ Trinidad, April Manalastas, Michelle Cadano, Mike Ibale, Karen Ambrosio, ang dami. Nesca Canando, Crystal Gipaya, Regina Mangahas, Jean Mateo, Isabel Roberto, Francis Sarayno, Jake Pudpud, Mylene Hamera, Paulo Madea, and all of the people in Ibex Davao.
Ayan.
My bosses too. Hello.
Ayan.
I don't know if
Do they
can-
listen right now?
I hope they are.
sige
It's
na.
in the US time. They're probably gonna ask for...
I don't know kung nakaano kami. Are we? Naka-stream tayo? Ayun.
I'm sure.
Oo.
Gilbert,
Sana
Eric,
naman
wherever you
sila
are.
nagpadala ng mga questions and
Okay.
comments, no? Oo, they can do that actually. So, Resi, wala na talaga tayong oras. I thank you so much for
Thank you.
being here
Thank you.
and being able to impart to us itong ano ba ang buhay ng isang call center agent. And this is very timely at the start of the year for 2016 for those who want to look for jobs, no? Yung naghahanap ng trabaho, if you have the talent, no, or the competitiveness to be part of a call center agent na world, Ibex here is really hiring people. So it's a good thing that we're able to discuss this. We're able to touch on what it takes to put up a BPO company, what it takes to become a call center agent, and ano pa ang mga dapat ang mga factors, no, that you have to consider if you want to be a call center agent. Kasi ang work schedule nila is totally different from the usual work that you have for 9 to 5 job, na daytime job. So sa mga magigilo natin mga tagapakinig, kami nagpapasalamat at sinamahan nyo na naman po kami sa 2 oras nating talakayan dito sa ating programang Tuesday Today every Saturday 10 to 12 noon, where we talk anything and everything under the sun. Sana po ay nasiyahan kayo sa ating talakayan ngayong umaga. And next week, meron na naman po tayong makakapanayam na bisita. Probably, no, we get to invite another local politician who will talk about more ano yung mga gobyerno, plataforma de gobyerno ang gusto nilang isulong sa pagtakbo bilang opisyal ng ating syudad dito sa Davao. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Attorney Geraldine Chu. Overtime na po kami. I will have to sign off. Maraming salamat, and I'm wishing you all a very, very happy weekend.
Tuesday today.